Just some words as we move into the assignment here. Some of you may have run across this book somewhere in the past, Marcus Borg's Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time. If you haven't, it's worth the read. It's not very long and it's pretty readable. Borg, if you don't know, was a professor at Oregon State University, renowned New Testament scholar. His wife was one of the canons at the cathedral in Portland, the Episcopal Cathedral in Portland. Um, anyway, he wrote a lot of really wonderfully engaging books, partly because he was working with college students and needed to get their minds going in ways that they weren't accustomed to. And another book he wrote was The God We Never Knew and things like that. So, a nice guy. I met him a couple of times. Anyway, in this book, if you haven't read it, he explores who Jesus was, what we can know about Jesus before the resurrection, before the crucifixion and resurrection. What was Jesus all about? And he posits four things that Jesus did or was. One was that he was a spirit person, and he was sort of working to mediate the spirit to his followers. A second one was that he was and through that he was a wisdom teacher as well, using parables and aphorisms to sort of shake people out of thinking in the ways that they'd often thought. And then the third was that he was a prophet, like prophets before him, sort of criticizing the social elite and the ways of the social structures of the time. And then the fourth was that he was a movement founder. He would invite his followers to sort of be in the same way that he was, in terms of being connected to the Spirit and to each other in different ways. All of those Borg draws from the Gospels and from all of the other things that we know about people like that. So he puts them in those sort of four categories. We just heard, I'm assuming you listened to the interview with Bart Ehrman. Um, Bart, professor at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, um, again, very prolific scholar. If you haven't read any of his books, I'm surprised, or if you haven't, or if you won't before you leave seminary, I'll be surprised. Um, anyway, Bart in that clip, talks about how Jesus sort of became God historically, how that understanding developed. So between Bart's interview and then these ideas from Borg that he was a spirit person, a teacher of wisdom, a movement founder, and a prophet, um, what does your patronus or your matrona, what is their view of Jesus? Um, and how did Jesus sort of accomplish our salvation? Um, was it sort of substitutionary atonement? What was it that your patronus or matrona thought about Jesus? And just you know don't spend a lot of time on this. I imagine you're getting a pretty good idea of that already as you work with him or her, as you work on these other assignments. But what does your patronus or matrona think about Jesus? What did or does he or she think about Jesus and what Jesus did for us? Have fun.